In adventurer groups, each character usually has a role to fulfill. Some attack with swords, others cast spells, and our protagonist named Rut is a tank, which means he must absorb the damage from enemy attacks to protect his teammates. This is not the most popular role among adventurers, but he will manage to take his abilities to a higher level, which will grant him fame and many waifus around him, even though he thinks more about his sister. Oh, we're starting off pretty bad. Well, it's only been 2 minutes of anime, so we can give it a second chance. Here comes one of his team members who knows him best, called Neen. She always has to deal with his ramblings about his sister, and it seems like she likes the protagonist. But for now, he doesn't plan on thinking about anyone else since his sister, named Marissa, has an incurable disease, at least by conventional methods. The only hope she has is to reach the end of the labyrinth and obtain the sacred treasure that grants wishes. That's the reason he became an adventurer. The problem is that he is a bit clumsy and usually loses his shield in the labyrinth, which doesn't allow him to progress much and puts a strain on Neen, who is the team's healer and always has to keep healing him. Oh, and by shield, I don't mean his tool, but his magical level shield, 999, the highest there is. This is just his opinion of her because in the team, we also have the hero Kailas and these strangely affectionate twins called Lily and Lilia. He is very conceited and arrogant, thinking that the protagonist is inept because his shield randomly disappears and he doesn't even know what his other two abilities are for. Objectively speaking, he is right. In the scenes, we see that they have been in many dangerous situations because he lost his shield, but it's not like they don't have feet to dodge a few stones. The truth is, he's exaggerating a bit in that aspect. But anyway, he went to the guild to kick the protagonist out of the group and include these two, as the team limit is 6 members. And to make matters worse, this guy takes the sword just because they failed the previous mission. The twins say goodbye to him without being able to do anything because Kailas is the team leader and has the final say. So the same goes for Neen, who can only cry because she doesn't want to say goodbye to him like this after inviting him to her group. Rut tells her not to worry, and he accepts the decision because he also feels like he failed. Besides, this won't be the last time they see each other if she wants to, as he tells her where he lives and invites her to visit him and his sister whenever she wants. For now, it's time to say goodbye and find a way to return to his city. It's great timing that a small rank D group is doing an escort mission, so he can join them, even though he is rank F because he hasn't taken the level up tests. These randoms know him from being in the heroes group and offer him to join them. The mission consists of escorting this old man to a nearby city. The journey is not complicated until they approach their destination, where a strange mist starts to appear, and the protagonist decides to stop the carriage. There, he encounters the shadow of what may seem like a bandit, but it's actually a girl with white hair who looks like she was a servant by force and, on top of that, has a red stone on her chest. She is very tired and afraid of our protagonist. The worst part is that before Rut can calm her down because it is clear that they will not be able to survive a single attack from the snake. Furthermore, even the protagonist is sent flying after a couple of attacks, but he knows he can't fall here because his sister is waiting for him. So, he decides to take the lead and encourage the adventurers to fight. He doesn't have a sword at the moment, so he tells them that it's up to them to take care of the monster and that they must trust in their own strength to attack without hesitation because he won't allow them to receive any kind of damage. Those are the true words of a hero. The first sequence of attacks connects correctly, but it's not enough to defeat the snake. The snake responds with a spinning attack, but Rut keeps his promise by blocking the attack with his shield long enough to stun the monster. This gave enough time for his allies to prepare a powerful combined attack of 2 cuts and a lightning bolt that literally fries the snake. After that, he instructs them to cut it into pieces to sell its meat while he goes to find the albino girl, to whom the old man offers a dress as payment. Ruth decides to take her to his city with him. Just as we thought, she ran away because she doesn't wear a collar. In addition, her red stone indicates that she is a homunculus, which are always forced to be servants. Now, let's move on to the moment of farewell with the randoms because the protagonist needs to take another path to go to his city. Here, a couple of interesting facts are mentioned. First, the sacred treasure not only has the ability to grant wishes, but it is also supposed to allow the creation of homunculi. Second, these beings are not very loved by people because of how expressionless they are and because they work like machines. They also ask him to join their group, but they are just generic randoms, so it's not going to happen. The albino girl doesn't have a name, but since she is more important as the main character of this story, our protagonist decides to call her Luna because of the flower petals falling, which are called moon petals. At night, Rut learns a very important piece of information. It turns out that some wolves attacked their camp, and Luna manages to defend herself alone with great agility. This means that she is an illegally created homunculus since she has feelings and can fight. The worst part is that this is usually turned off, so she can't allow anyone to find out about her existence despite that dot of her spectacular weapon handling. Skills: she specializes in the use of magic. She has an ability to enhance the magic of her allies, a support magic, and another one called Identify. This last one surprises Rue the most, as this ability was only possessed by one person in a nearby kingdom, who is believed to have died a long time ago. This means that Luna is the only person who has this ability. But what is the purpose of this ability? Well, its name is quite descriptive. It helps identify the abilities of people, who actually have to experience them in order to discover what they are. That's why Rue asks Luna to identify his own abilities. For example, he has 4 abilities. The first one is Provocation, which allows him to attract the attention of his enemies. The second one is Healthy Body, which makes him immune to status effects like poison and increases his healing capacity. These 2 are the ones he already knew about, but the interesting ones are the following. The third one is Vital Conversion, which allows him to convert any damage he has lost from his shield into attack power. The last one is Sacrificial Shield, which allows him to use his companions' shields as if they were his own, giving his allies a power boost. This means that he was using his ability wrong, as his desire to protect his allies was strengthening their shields while weakening his own. That's why his shield kept breaking so often. In reality, he needs to absorb the damage they receive in order to make use of his third ability and hit harder than a mother's flip-flop. This makes him very happy, because he truly is the strongest tank that exists, and now that he has been able to confirm it, he is sure that he will be able to fulfill his objective of saving his sister. Well, folks, that's how we end today's episode.